Well, howdy do, Buckaroos. Hey, today at the Beer Whisperer Pub, we're doing something different. A neighbor gave me a bottle of homemade cider. It is a cranberry cider. He said it's 11%, and he bottled it back in December, so he said it ought to be about ready. And I will admit that I did a short video for it just a little bit ago, but I wanted to save the rest to do a video or do a pub session with someone that I know something about cider. And due to technology, hey, I'm able to connect with an old friend, Stuart Pickard, from the Ging Real Ale Trail
Whoa!
in Yorkshire, England.
Yeah. I mean,
So, Stuart,
we managed to visit a few pubs in
we
Springfield.
did. We had a couple places,
Uh,
didn't we? You know, it's
I
funny.
mean,
I need to get you back here because at the time, Macadoodles didn't do a bar. Now they've got a full bar set up, so it's really interesting. But what cider are you drinking today?
so I've got two from Tuts Clump. I've got apple cider, which is a special reserve, 6%.
Oh wow. Okay, cool.
And I've got a pear cider, which is their traditional farmhouse. Yeah. So one's made with apples, one's made with pears. It's both from the same um, cider company. I'll start off with the apple. Managed to visit the cider farm last year with Mr. Kevin Black and my brother. Now you've got a fruit cider, so it has a blend of apples and your fruit cider. What does it have?
Oh, it's a cranberry. Cranberry. And he said he orders his cranberries fresh from Minnesota. So he's not using a bag cranberry from the grocery store. He's using actual cranberries. And I'll be honest with you, Stuart, I'm kind of a cider novice. I don't know much about ciders. So I'm probably using the wrong glassware, but I decided to pour it into a wine glass here. These are our family crest glasses that you might remember we brought out when you were here.
Yes. I mean, I thought we chatted about cider when I came to visit, and
Yeah,
there's
and
different
you brought one for
variations.
me. I believe it was Thatcher's cider that you brought.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I know when we visited, we discussed that actually in Americas, some the alcoholic cider are called apple wines,
Uh-huh.
whereas the non-alcoholic ciders over in America are actually called ciders.
Yeah. Yeah, it's different,
But
huh?
yeah, I know the rough term in America for alcoholic cider is turbo cider.
Yeah. Or they call them hard ciders.
Yeah, or hard cider, yes. And what's the other variation? You've got moonshine, apple moonshine.
Moonshine, yeah, which would be it's typically a neutral grain alcohol or corn liquor. A lot of them are corn, and where they flavored them.
Yeah. I mean, have you had, other than Thatcher cider, have you had any American-born ciders?
You know, I've had the typical ones. I mean, I've had Woodchuck and a few other American
Yeah.
ciders. I've had the Strongbow, of course, and a couple others. I don't know if there's any gourmet ciders or craft ciders. Uh, that's really all I can remember having. This one's interesting, though. I mean, it does feel like a wine. I mean, uh, now that I've let it sit and warm up a little bit, I'm getting some cranberry on the nose for sure because this is a cranberry cider. But I'm also picking up some apple and pear as well. And I noticed on the palate, I'm getting a lot of cranberry all the way through it, and I'm feeling a little pear and kind of a tart apple right at the end.
So, did your friend do use actual apples, or did he use apple juice? I know a lot of
No,
Americans use.
it's just cranberry.
Oh no, I mean in your friend's cranberry cider.
Oh
Is
yeah,
it?
probably. You know what? I never thought to ask him that question. To be honest with you, I imagine. I don't
Yeah.
know. It never crossed my mind to ask that question, which is why I'm tasting apple. See,
I mean,
there I go. I admit I know absolutely nothing. Yeah, I imagine he's got some kind of apple. I don't know if he used apple juice or what he used. I asked about the cranberries for some reason. I didn't ask about the apple.
I mean, I know me and you are both fans of root beer, and
Yes.
there's all variations of root beer as well, where there's gourmet root beer, commercial root beer, and such. It's the same with the ciders over there. There's gourmet cider. There's
Yeah. Now you hadn't had root beer before you came out here, is that right?
once before we went to see Irby in
Oh,
California.
yeah, yeah. But I remember you and Seamus talking a lot about root beer.
Yeah, I mean, Seamus was like uber intelligent. I mean, you could ask him anything: sports, root beer, food, and he'd tell you anything. Really intelligent young lad.
Yeah, he was 13 when you met him. It was pretty amazing that at how well versed he was for only 13, huh?
I know. I still remember the time when we had the chilies in that shop, and
Oh, the hot sauce. They were in Brandon.
Yeah, in Branston.
Yeah, I still like to play that hot sauce video every once in a while that we did back here because it just cracks me up.
It does. I mean, I still find it funny. It's like I'm going, building myself up, and then just running
a little joy in your pain. I feel bad for that.
And Seamus going,
you hear Seamus's voice in the background. He says, I just gave him a little bit.
But yeah, I mean, that shop was mental in Branston.
It was, yeah. Did you imagine there was ever that many hot sauces?
No, I mean, I see a lot in the farmers markets over here, but not to the extent of that. And I think you can get chili ciders as well. And
really, that's interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, good.
So tell me about what you're drinking and what notes you're getting from that.
All right, so I've got the special reserve. Used local apples. You typically for the proper ciders, that is the organic ciders, you get a little stuffiness, little dryness on the aroma, almost like a slight burn on the nose of dryness, similar to like a sour or a wild ale.
Uh-huh.
I mean, stuff like bourbon, you get like a little burn almost on the nose. It's almost like a simple burn with the ciders.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you drink a lot of cider, Stuart?
I did last year, but for some reason I've been having the chance recently to try a lot of breweries I've not had before, like from Scotland and Wales and America. And they're getting more creative with beers these days. Mm. I know when we visited Mother's Brewing, they was beginning to get really creative with their range of beers.
Yeah, you know what? They've even gotten more so since then too. They're just on fire right now. They're doing all kinds of creations. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think
what you had actually kind of. I think it was about the first version of the squashed, because you had that chocolate pumpkin porter.
Oh, that was so nice.
And that was before they even called it squashed. Yeah, so that's just a great beer.
Yeah, I think they had 2 or 3 experimental lines going at the brewery at the time. And what was good, back then they called it a pumpkin porter, but I know there are recent changes in recipe. Like you said, they've called it squash. But has it improved or changed because of the alternative recipes?
No, not that I know. Other than that, they do tweak things up from time to time. Yeah. I think the squash kind of varies depending on what's fresh at that time here, because they're using all fresh product. Mm. So I know the one year they said they used butternut squash in it. You could really feel the butternut squash. This past year's model, I don't remember feeling the butternut as well, but the chocolate was very, very noticeable.
Yeah. I mean, your friend.
I had a discussion with someone the other day. We're talking about consistency, and I think he kind of was making the point that he likes breweries that are consistent and does everything the same every time. And my argument was that's what I like about craft beer is some of the small differences they have to make. I that it changes a bit. I like that the milk is a little bit different from year to year. I like that the squash is a little bit different from year to year. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they continue to tweak the recipe until they get absolutely totally happy with that recipe.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I mean, I know once you've nailed it, basically then they go on to the next stage, which is what can they do with that recipe from the times when people have put stuff in barrels, they've added it to different things, they've blended it, they've done all kinds of different things with that second stage of that recipe.
Yeah. But I mean, unless you're running a completely automated system, I mean, even if you do everything the same way every time, there's going to be slight variances. Temperature, there's just a lot of things that can change, even if it's just tiny.
Mm.
And how you're aging it, I mean, especially if you're doing something barrel aged, I mean, the temperature, you're able to keep it at a certain temperature. There's just a lot of factors.
So when your friend did the cider that you're drinking today, the fact that he went to the extent of buying cranberries from a unique location that he wanted for his recipe for that cider, is he really into drinking his cider and affecting recipes much like Mother's Brew?
Yeah, you know what? To be honest, I don't know. In fact, we've been neighbors for probably about 3-4 years, and the honest truth is, we don't know a whole lot about each other. We've been coming and going at different times. I mean, we've always been friendly, and we talk to each other when we're passing, but none of us know anything in depth about each other. So the funny thing is he noticed that the other day I was in the backyard doing a video. So he says, I noticed you talking about craft beer, and he wondered if I liked ciders or if I would do a home brew. And I said, I'd love to. So he showed me the bottle. And I've known the guy, and we've probably been neighbors for about 4 years now. And I never noticed, I didn't know that he did this. And he didn't realize that I was big into craft beer. It's kind of funny.
That's one of the best things about drinking like craft beer or cider or having a fascination in one subject. Once you get the connection, it's amazing how much you make new friends and new stories and adventures.
Yeah, I mean, I've had this conversation with other folks too. I mean, how many people have you met just because social media exists?
I mean, the fact that I've traveled all the way across the US to the US of A because of beer.
Yeah. That's funny, huh? That's just amazing. I mean, if you think if this didn't exist, we would have never met. We would have known each other at all. It's just amazing.
And you wouldn't have been laughing at me eating chili.
That's right. Well, of all my craft beer friends that I've met on social media, and I've met some in person, you're the only one though that actually got to meet Seamus.
Which still is one of my highlights of all the adventures I've been on. I mean, it's like last year I tried to visit every UK beer reviewer because I wanted to try and meet everybody, and in 1 year, I know some of them didn't show up and stuff like that. But do
you have a favorite?
Simon's crazy funny, and I know he's professional on camera sometimes, but it's just completely opposite. I mean, first time I met him, first time I went to Wales, it was still at the bar, and it was about the same height as the bar, and he turns around and his hair's all wispy, and he goes, and it was almost like a Vidal Sassoon advert.
So when you watch his videos, his videos are very polished. So you're saying off camera, he's a kind of a different guy.
Yeah. Much like when I mean, I'm not a big sports fan, as you probably know. But when we went to the pub to get into sports, we interacted really well. We basically talked about sport. I didn't know about basketball or anything like that. But me, you and Seamus were like talking sports, getting passionate about something I don't really have a passion for, but I had a passion for it because of you two have been a passion for it. That kind of.
I've also watched his wife's videos. How was it meeting her? Is she the same off camera?
Yeah, she's like me. When I'm off camera, I'm a bit shy, and she's very similar. She don't like being like in your face, but she's really enjoyable when it comes onto camera.
Mm-hmm.
But it was nice interacting with both of them. Rob Derbyshire, I know you probably watched some of his Hopzine.
Oh yeah, Rob.
Yeah, he's very professional.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
I've met Adam, which is a really nice guy. Ari, which I think you've chatted to a few times.
Yeah.
Gareth Gazriver.
You ran into Kevin Black too, didn't you?
Yeah, he can drink.
That's a guy I really want to meet. That guy too, because he's got that Irish thing, and I've got my heritage is Irish, but I'm an American. But he's the one guy I'd like to get out to meet.
He's a really nice guy.
Drinker.
He does great stuff for kids. He works with kids and helps them out of bad situations.
Does he really? I didn't realize what he did. That's impressive.
And one of the highlights of when I see him, walks down the street onto the next pub, and this kid comes up to him and actually shook his hand and thanked Kevin for the help that he's given him. And stuff like that.
Now, I haven't had the opportunity to try his homebrews. Have you?
I have. Half of them have been bad. Some of them, the odd 2, 3 have been really good. But it's funny watching him review his own beer because he always says that they're really, really good, really good.
Hey, did you ever get let's see, I'm trying to think who else that I've talked to over there. Beer Goggles, Terry. Did you meet him?
Well, he came to my hometown, but we didn't know about him coming to our hometown until he went home. He didn't let us know.
Oh gosh, I'm trying to think who else I have friends. Do you have Elvis? Did you talk to Elvis?
Yeah, I saw him in 2014. I didn't see him last year because he got his dates mixed up. But he's a super nice guy.
Yeah, I like his videos because he's got a kind of a different approach to him.
Yeah, he's similar to Simon, very professional.
Mm-hmm.
Got to see Danny McFadden.
Danny, did you meet Danny? Oh, I'm dying to meet that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's lost lots of weight.
I know. Yeah, we've done off-camera hangouts, but I haven't been able to get him, live.
Yeah, I think he's trying to get ready for this walk that he's going to do around Scotland. So he's trying to get really healthy.
Yeah, I really like to meet him. He's a very nice guy. He's been really nice to us.
And yeah, it was really nice to finally meet him. Didn't meet James Marshall because I think he was in Germany at the time. He's the one who does the long intros, about 18 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've met Jack Walker as well. Bear Beer Reviews.
Oh, really? Okay.
But yeah, I've managed to meet so many beer reviewers. It's cool chatting to them about beers and stuff like we are today.
Yeah, I try to meet folks when I can. It's America's a little bit different. I mean, we're kind of spread out, so sometimes it's tough to get to folks.
Yeah, when I went to Ohio to see Tom Shipman and Steve Winnick from Beer Drinkers, they were really nice. Justin Terry from the Beer Scout.
Oh, really? Okay.
And
no,
he's
familiar
really
with that one. No.
He basically blogs rather than videos.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, about a year ago, or just shy of a year ago now, I guess it was in March of last year, I finally got around to starting a website. How about you? Have you put a website out there?
Jeez, it's hard enough to track all this Instagram, YouTube, Google, Twitter.
Well, but my website's easy, Stuart. It's tomthebeerwhisperer.com.
You have to send me a link and I'll share it on my Ging
Okay,
Real Ale
cool.
Trail.
So how about you? Have you thought about starting one, or did you already that I don't know about?
Oh no. I just can't. I hardly have time to track all the YouTube thing because sharing all those videos is hard work.
It is, yeah. It does take some time.
Because if they will basically share to this on Facebook, and you could just tick them
Well, you
all
and
at
I are in a
once.
lot of the same groups.
Yeah, and there's more and more popping up, just like the war. But a lot of them open up, and then they don't post anything at all.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
I've seen those. Yeah.
I think it ends up being three people mostly posting in all beer groups. You, Greg Puckett, and me.
Yeah, are you in his beer group? What's in the fridge? I think it's called.
Yeah, yeah. I did mention to Greg that it's hard work running a beer group because you've got basically be like a big parent and slap people's wrists all the time.
Sometimes you do, yeah. I mean, for me, the beer groups that I'm an admin in, I, I'm pretty relaxed. Unless you're way over the top, unless you're trying to sell a product. If you're getting smarmy, I'm going to shut you down. If
Yeah,
if you're really seriously hating on somebody for no reason, I'm going to shut you down. But other than
yeah,
that, I kind of let a lot of stuff go.
yeah. I mean, some admins are a bit weird. Sometimes I just still don't get that mentality where there's different beers. It's either it's a beer or it's not a beer. That's my mentality.
Yeah, there are those that take it very seriously, and I don't know why either, but some of them really do. I'm just about enjoying them. And I tell you what, I mean, I don't know anything about ciders other than this is 11%, and it's just darn tasty. I mean, sometimes you don't have to be pretentious about it. You can just enjoy it, even if you don't quite understand it.
Well, what's the palate like? Do you pick up the ABV? Is it hidden well?
The ABV is hidden extremely well, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And again,
Which is a mark of a good cider.
I
Someone who
yeah,
knows.
I enjoy it. I mean, the truth is, if somebody just handed me this bottle and didn't tell me what it was, I would probably just make the assumption it was a cranberry wine. To be honest with you, because I know nothing about ciders. But what I'm tasting is a whole lot of cranberry. There's some pear in there,
Yeah.
and I'm getting like a tart sour apple right at the end,
Nice.
like a
So
Granny Smith apple, if that makes
yeah,
sense to you.
yeah. I mean, it's always hard to review ciders because you don't have much to go for taste notes and that kind of thing. Whereas beer, you've got a wide spectrum of things you can aim at.
Yeah, I agree. But I gotta tell you, I'm really enjoying the heck out of this. But it could be the 11% speaking at this point.
I mean, how does it compare to the ciders that you've had in the past? The Strombos, the Woodchuck?
Well, I guess the difference is I think those that I've had in the past have been sparkling ciders, right?
Yeah, I mean, I do prefer still ciders.
Yeah, this one really drinks like a wine. So I got to tell you, again, not knowing anything about ciders, but of all of them I've had, I really prefer this one. It almost feels like I've had some flavored meads, and it kind of feels like that.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I think some places actually they originally called it a mead, apple mead, honey mead, and that kind of stuff.
I have a meadery that opened couple years ago, I think, um, about 45 minutes from me, and I've been trying to get there. I haven't yet, but I really like to get there to try them.
I
They
mean,
have a lot of cans around here, but I want to visit the meadery itself.
another highlight of trip to Springfield is the bottle shop that we went to. I mean, did they showcase ciders and stuff like that?
They've got a few. They may have more than I'm aware of, to be honest, because I've never really looked. But no, it's I don't remember seeing a lot, but there's probably more realized, to be honest.
But they do showcase a lot of various drinks in there. I mean, I know they have like a whiskey.
I took it to Macadoodles, and then we went to the Brown Derby International Wine Center. I'm assuming
I
that's
think
what
Macadoodles
Oh,
that we went to.
It's making me burp. Oh, so I know it's about 6 hours difference between you and I. So I appreciate you making time to join me here today.
No, I mean, like I said, it's been a busy day. Church with my parents, and then shopping for bike parts for my bicycle before I go back to work tomorrow. But yeah, these long days. Now, the cider that you're drinking now? Has it made you want to try more ciders and stuff like that?
Yes, to be honest, yeah. The short answer is yes, because the more I drink it, I've worked through. I'm on the last glass of the bottle. To be honest with you, the more through it, the more I've picked up additional aromas and flavors that I didn't notice when I did the short video before I went on camera with you. So every time I take a drink, I'm picking up something different. So it's kind of piqued my interest to want to try more. Yes. So the short answer is yes.
Cool. I mean, when I first started drinking ciders, I get into the fruit ciders first because they're more palatable for because these harder ciders or these proper ciders, they can be a little bit off-putting for some people because of the dryness in the palate.
It is, yeah. It does finish very dry, yeah. But I'm approaching it much like I would approach a wine. Is that wrong or?
No, it's perfect fine. I mean, like when at the beer festivals, they do showcase the ciders with the wines.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay. Well, so when I drink wine, I don't drink wine often, but when I drink a white wine, I prefer a Sauvignon Blanc. And this reminds me a lot of a Sauvignon Blanc, where Sauvignon Blanc, you get a lot of apple and pear, and you kind of get that tartness right at the end. And this reminds me a lot of a Sauvignon Blanc with cranberry. Oh, that's a nice glass.
This is the pear cider. As you can see, it's a little bit more paler. And with this, you don't get as dryness and tartness as you would with the apple. You get more.
So do you personally have a preference, pear apple, or does it just depend on your mood?
No, I mean, if you look into the multiple variations of apples out there, there's quite a lot. And each one showcases apples in a different way. I mean, I've had single variety apples before, but the majority of the time, pear ciders have a blend of pears and apples, whereas apple ciders tend to have a blend of different apples. I mean, yours will probably have because it's a fruit cider, they tend to have a blend of apple and pear, as well as for your.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fun. He said cider, and he said it's a cranberry cider. I never thought to ask you what apple he was using. So that's how. Well, I'm going to admit it. That's how ignorant I am to ciders. I know nothing about them. So
it's pretty cool.
Trying new things. Like a tart, kind of a Granny Smith apple. I'm feeling some pear, and then the cranberry. So it's very interesting. I think it'd be very interesting, and I said this in the video that I did, that if you just put just a little bit of seltzer water in it, if you wanted to make it sparkling like a spritzer, it'd be very refreshing on a hot day.
I mean, some of the newer cider drinkers, they tend to add ice cubes to the drink.
Oh, I wouldn't do that. I might put a little seltzer, but I wouldn't put ice in, because I've noticed as I've let this warm, it's really developed even more.
Yeah. Have you ever had a snake bite?
Yes, I have. the first time I had it was in an Irish pub in Kansas City called Llewellyn's. I ordered a snake bite.
Yeah. I mean, in some places they've actually got that as a commercial drink now.
Oh, really? Okay. They used Strongbow cider in theirs.
Yeah.
So do you like the snake bite?
No, because I actually prefer them separately.
Not at all.
I've had a Belgian beer in cider barrels, and that was really nice. I think it works better if it's in the barrel itself rather than a blend of the two.
Really? Okay. So I've never had one already bottled as a snake bite, but I've had it made at various pubs. But yeah.
I mean, what's that other one? There's cider and lager, and there's cider and Guinness. I think is that a snake bite cider and Guinness or?
That's the way I had it. Yeah, it was the Strongbow and Guinness. That's how I had it at Llewellyn's Pub.
So what else have you drunk recently apart from this cider?
Oh goodness. Well, recently I picked up some stuff from Arkansas. I picked up there's a very small brewery, or actually it's kind of a gypsy brewed. He's located in Little Rock, but he gypsy brews in Oklahoma. It's called Moody Brews, and he's got two brews out there right now. One is called their Half Seas Over, which is an Imperial IPA, and it is just gorgeous. The other one is they call Sixes and Sevens, and he calls it an Imperial style Belgian chocolate porter. And he uses three Belgian yeast strains, and that thing is just so complex it keeps you guessing every sip. It's amazing.
I mean, have you tried any wild ales or sour ales?
Not recently, no.
Because I know that's that's almost like the cider of America.
Sours are popular right now, yeah. Yeah, I've got a friend, Mark Pyle from Erie Better Beer Bureau, that keeps trying to get me to try sours, and I've actually acquired a taste for them now. It's taken me a while. I didn't like them at all at first. I wasn't getting them. I've never liked sour things. I don't eat sour candies, so it's taken me a while to get used to them. But I'm starting to acquire a taste.
I think one of the first ones, and probably one of the well-known ones, I think, is Rodenbach, which got me into sour beers. And I think there was another one, but I can't remember right now. But yeah, is it Timmins? Lindemans?
Lindemans.
Yeah, is it Lindemans? They're okay.
Well, as we come to the end here, Stuart, are there any final words you'd like to say about ciders in general?
Yeah, just enjoy the ciders. If it's nice for you, it's good. But try new things.
That's right. I agree. And for me, I mean, it's a good time to my last sip. I'm grateful that my neighbor gave me the bottle. It's darn tasty. It's not something. See, here's the thing. If I was to walk through a store, I would have never bought this bottle. But the fact that he gave me a homemade bottle, now if I go into a store now and I see a bottle of some kind of cider like this, I might pick it up because now I know what I'm looking for. So, hey, I'm Tom the Beer Whisperer. I want to thank Stuart Pickard all the way from Yorkshire. Say something, Stuart.
Thank you for letting me join you today. And top cider.
And I don't want to run long, but I do want to thank Stuart for, Seamus enjoyed talking with you about different things. And I don't want to get melancholy at the end of the video, but it was, the root beer, the hot sauce, it was very interesting. And the fact that you're the only beer guy that he was able to meet, I think that will always be special. So I want to thank Stuart for joining me here where we talk ciders. Thank you, Stuart. And